Here's a man who has been retired for 31 years. After retiring early at 55, he's now 86. What are his secrets? How did he get this far and he's still doing great in health and otherwise? I'll get to that in a second, but first I got all this from Business Insider, and this is another edition of Storytime with sometimes colicky Uncle Duane. So because of that, I'll be going up and down because I got a lot of stuff written down here. So guys, leave me comments, especially of those of you that have been retired for a while. What's your secret? What's your secret to a great, successful retirement? Let me know. So this guy has now been retired for almost as long as he worked, 31 years. After high school, he got a job in the forestry service. Okay? Sounds like a good, steady job, right? Forestry. So you know what? I would love that. I would love that. If I could get like something, well, probably wouldn't be part-time enough. Because, you know, as I've told you guys on this channel, it's like it's always good to bring in additional income when you're on moderate income retirement, right? If I could do something like, I don't know, 5 to 7 hours a week in the forestry service, I'd love it. They'd probably want something like 20 hours or something though. It's too much. I'm retired. I don't want to really work, you know? Not work. At the pinnacle of his career, he was managing a staff of 250 people. He didn't find his job stressful, just demanding. Okay. I've had a job like that in my music industry career. I had a couple jobs like that. Didn't feel that stressful, but yeah, there was a lot of stuff to do. But you know what? Because I loved it, it wasn't stressful. But yes, it could be demanding at times. Hey, for those of you who see me for the first time, my name is Duane, your cranky, sometimes colicky Uncle Duane. And this is a channel for people on moderate income. If you think you might like that, think about subscribing and like the video. And if you really like it, down here, you can either buy me a coffee or buy my new book, The Monster Who Loves Me. So how did he do it? Got a bunch of points here, guys. This guy's got a lot of good advice. This is how he did it. This is how he is still going strong at 86 after retiring at 55. So here's some points. His job offered an early retirement package at 55. Okay. What the heck was that, man? I'm getting excited. I need some retirement vodka. I'm like getting all chapped. Much better now, much better. Hey, if you got retirement vodka, drink it. So yeah, early retirement package at 55. He could have stayed longer, he said, and got a better package, but it's like, what the heck, man? I've had enough. At first, he felt a bit depressed due to the abrupt change of pace in his life. And we've talked about this before too. If you have come from in his case, a demanding job, and you go abruptly to just boom, you're retired, you're going to notice that change. It's not all going to be positive, right? Especially if you have had a high-paying, high-position job. Your lack of identity, loss of identity will really affect you. So this guy said initially he was a bit depressed. Totally get it. I totally get it. The first year of retirement, he took care of his 5-acre plot of land. Now, this guy lives in Australia, okay? This led him to start a garden maintenance business. So, as you can see, when you're retired, as we've talked about over and over on this channel, guys, you don't have to sit around doing nothing. This guy started a garden maintenance business. That kept him busy. That kept his juices flowing. You can't just sit around. Now, maybe if you're an older retiree, I can understand this more. I have a friend who retired at 72. My dad retired a little after 70. At that case, okay, you're a little bit older. Maybe you can slow down easier. The transition might be easier for you as well. But if not, this guy was 55. He still had a lot of life ahead of him, right? So he started his own business. And he and his wife spent time traveling all over Australia and then the world. Okay, as we've said before, those go-go years, right after you retire, first 10 years or so, those are the time. I had an old boss like this in the music industry where he was 62 at the time, and all of a sudden he just started traveling. Not national travel, international travel. He was going to Southeast Asia. 6 months later, he'd go to Japan. After that, I think he went to the Middle East. And this was a guy who hadn't traveled much before. I had worked for him for about 7-8 years before he started doing all this. And I said, what's the deal? He goes, well, the wife and I decided that while we're still able to get around and stuff, why not get our big ticket vacations out of the way? And this was a couple years before he retired. So I get it. That's what these people did. So later, he sold his land and moved to the city to be closer to the wife's family. He bought his house in the city in cash. Okay, that's another thing. Downsizing. This guy, with his part-time business he was doing, maybe he just had a bunch of cash on hand. He had the cash to purchase a downsized place in cash, right? Much better than getting a mortgage. That's what he did. He started a vegetable garden at his new place, which gave him a sense of purpose. Okay, by now I believe he's in his 70s. It's another thing, but like we've talked about over and over on this channel, guys, you need a sense of purpose. At least most people do, right? What is my purpose? My purpose, hopefully, with his YouTube channel, is I hope that I'm exposing people to what a successful moderate income retirement is. I've got some information I think I could share that might be helpful. And it seems like so far that it is. Not always. I get negative comments. Believe me, I get negative comments all the time. But that has given me a purpose to help people who are kind of just like I was the first 6 months of retirement, just looking around, wandering aimlessly. Okay, this is great, but what am I going to do now? So you need a sense of purpose, guys. That's what has kept this guy going until now. He's like 86 and he's still going strong. Then he also started going to the gym 3 times a week. Doesn't say if he exercised heavily before, but if he had a job in forestry, probably walking around a lot, right? So he started going to the gym 3 times a week. He also leaned into hobbies like golf. Again, got to keep yourself busy, got to keep yourself going, guys. You just got to do it. Especially early in retirement, you got to do it. Okay, here's the part about his pension. He did get a pension, but he also invested on his own. Very important. For those of you who have a pension, leave me a comment. Did you invest outside of your pension? How much did you invest? Has it really helped you in retirement? You know what? Because pensions, yes, they will be there. They can default. The chances are very minimal. But yes, they can default. So it always makes sense, if you can, to invest outside. Invest outside of just getting your pension so you'll have that additional money that you can use for whatever. It could be your play money. If your pension covers most of your retirement expenses, this could be stuff that you just, hey man, what do you want to do? Let's go to Bermuda for the week. Take it out of your play money, right? There you go. So at 86, what is his life like now at 86 after retiring at 55, 31 years into retirement? He says his health is good. He still chops his own wood, walks. Okay, I did this when I was in my 20s and teens. Walks 18 holes of golf. Doesn't take the cart. And he goes to the gym 3 times a week. Guys, at 86, that is a definition of a good retirement. Here is how one person did it while retiring early at 55, 31 years. He's still going strong. There is a lot to learn from in the way he did it. The point, what he did, how did he keep himself busy? Did he invest outside his pension? What does he do with his life now? I mean, if you're walking 18 holes of golf at 86, yeah, I think you're in pretty good shape, right? So there you go, guys. There is one man's blueprint of how to have a successful retirement. In this case, 30 plus years, which is what most advisors, financial advisors, tell you to save for retirement. 30 plus years. Here's one man's blueprint. I think it's pretty good. Take some points out of that. And it is always from today. I don't know if you guys could hear it in this video, but it is howling outside. The wind just going crazy. My RV's going like this. And it's a big RV, 27 foot. Anyway, from the windy, howling high desert, as always, we got this.